Welcome back to the Elle-Sera podcast. And today I've got Jamie from the Diamond Lab. I'm a girl's best friend of diamonds, apparently. So we're going to find out what the world of lab-grown diamonds is all about. So hi, Jamie.
Hi, Ellie.
Thanks for joining me. The big question on everybody's lips is, are lab-grown diamonds real diamonds?
They are. So this is the question that everyone's been asking for a long time, and this is why the brand was born. It was to educate customers, to let them know that, yes, lab-grown diamonds are chemically and physically identical to mine diamonds. The only difference is that they are grown above ground and mine diamonds are grown below ground. So that's really the only difference.
And I know like some people are like, I wouldn't have a lab-grown diamond. I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? At least then ethically, I think they're better.
Ethically, they're better. They're far more sustainable. I know there's lots of conversations around the sustainability of lab-grown diamonds, but sort of in the last 10 years, they're consuming a fraction of electricity that they were consuming to make lab-grown diamonds. A lot of the laboratories now are being are fueled by solar. Mm-hmm. The laboratory that we work with actually, with the extra fuel that it creates, they give it back to their local communities. And of course, mining has a lot of machinery involved, and that's, you have to dig deep into the ground. And with lab-grown diamonds, it's really just the laboratory, the scientists growing the stones. So from that perspective, they are far more sustainable and far more ethical than mined stones. And for those clients who are vegans or those clients that are looking for something that's that aligns with their personal views, and those clients that want to look after the planet going forward, lab-grown diamonds have been a massive hit with those clients.
I know, and there was a big case, wasn't there, with De Beers for a while. I don't know if you can go into this. I don't know anything about it. I just know there was one.
Yeah, there's been quite a few cases for the last sort of 15 years in the background where obviously everyone knew that lab-grown diamonds were going to cause an issue to the mined diamond market. And so, it's been, people have been trying to suppress that market. But in 2018, there was a legal case that went on for several years, and the lab-grown diamond grower won. And that's when the FTC ruled in 2018 that lab-grown diamonds are diamonds and that they should be qualified as diamond and no longer called synthetic or fake. So your lab-grown diamond now will come with a certificate, same certificates that your mine diamonds will come with. They're certified by the same people, and they are cut and polished by the same people that cut and polish mine diamonds.
I mean, I suppose there's, you don't know what the kind of the people who are mining the diamonds, you don't know what conditions they're living in or they're working in. I can't imagine they're amazing.
Yeah, it's really, you've got some mines around the world who are great. They really look after the communities. There are others that you would not know what's going on, and some of those, communities have actually found some of the rarest diamonds in the world. And there are stories about the way, they've been looked after once they've actually sourced these stones. But it's not something that we really talk about because it's, there's a whole thing out there. And I don't think anyone will really have the true facts around that. But, consumers are aware, and they do come in and they're actually educating us sometimes on the conflict side of my diamonds.
I was listening to Brian Cox the other day, and he was saying there's a whole planet out there that's literally made of diamond.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's like, they're
going to be up there mining. Someone's already up there.
Yeah, trying to harness it and bring it back and just speak. But then, exactly. So
I think I've heard that as well. Yeah. I have, yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it? Well, this is the thing. It's just pressure over time that's built up.
Exactly.
It's just carbon, pressure over time.
It's just carbon. So, whether the diamonds are below ground, above ground, they're just diamonds.
And we are the ones who put the value on it.
We do. Look, diamonds are not saving anyone's lives, but they make us feel good. And it's in our DNA, and it comes from the fact that when we were cavemen and we were hunting for, we were trying to survive, and we would see water, it's a sparkle. And it's within, it's always going to be in us. So if we see something sparkly, we want it. And that's where it comes from. And so that's why there'll always be a business for diamonds, because they'll always make us feel good. When you see them, you just get you're attached to them. It's crazy. But they really do make you feel good.
How did you get into diamonds?
By total accident. I was actually studying design communication and I wanted to be a graphic designer and work for Saatchi & Saatchi. Like that was my dream from when I was like super young. And then I came to London to study and I needed a part-time job and a recruiter just stopped me in the street and said, you're a student and, are you looking for a job? And I was like, yes. So I started working with Dior, fine jewellery and Selfridges, and I fell in love with the world of fine jewellery. And from there, I sort of stayed within the industry. And so, for the last sort of 18 years, I've worked for some of the most incredible brands, from Piaget, De Beers to Chanel fine jewellery. I've consulted for some incredible brands as well. And so I started to observe like where the industry was going with lab grown and felt that with my experience and what I've seen that it was the right time to launch our brand, but in an eco luxury perspective rather than just luxury and fine jewellery, and offer everybody access to fine jewellery that they deserve and offer them that incredible experience of luxury as well.
And there's a big difference in price point too.
A huge price point difference. So this is one thing that we always try to educate customers. They are actually a tenth of the price. So a lot of people out there say, oh, they're a third of the price. They're not, they're a tenth. And the price difference doesn't come from the fact they're just grown in a lab. It comes because there's just less people in the chain. So with Mine Diamonds, you've got 20 to 25 people, including the machinery. With lab grown, you've got 1 to 5. Mm-hmm. So you've cut all of those middlemen out. And that's why there is such a price difference. And there's still nature involved. It's grown from a seed of carbon and you don't know what's going to be grown. So there's still beauty in that. Although a lot of people are like, oh, but there's no beauty because it's not grown from the ground. Well, it's incorrect because there is beauty. It's grown from a seed and there is a lovely story behind that.
I think seed grown diamonds is much better than lab grown.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So
I would rebrand.
Our thing is we have seed to stone. So everything, whenever we're trying to explain to customers, we're like, it's seed to stone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then what's the process it goes through? I mean, you don't need to get too technical, but like how long does it take?
It can take anything, anything from sort of 2 weeks to 3 months to grow a stone. So it depends if it's a coloured stone or if it's
that's quick.
A really, really large stone. Oh yeah, it's super quick. But you still know what's going to be grown. So you've still got to take that cube to the custom polishers and then they'll tell you whether you're going to have a D or an E or a G, whatever colour.
They've got the seed and then they pressurize it in kind of like an environment.
So it's heat and pressure accelerated. So it mimics exactly what goes on in underground.
God. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to make a regular diamond.
Millions of years.
Well, yeah.
Millions. I mean, literally years. I think what, for me, about mind, I mean, I love anything that comes from the earth. But I do feel sometimes that there are certain things that are in the earth for a reason. Like maybe diamonds are formed there to play another part underground. And, we try to, as humans, we're always curious and we want to, take from the earth. But there is probably a reason why they're there,
Yeah. Okay, so they get it to seed and then obviously what does it expand?
It's just a slither that goes into the chamber. The chamber's then locked and all the gases are infused and then it just expands and grows until it's crystallized into a rock. And then as soon as it hits the size the scientist's comfortable with, it's then removed and then it's just taken
and then gets
to the next stage.
Polished up. Wow, I think it's incredible. I feel like you should make that part of your marketing. Like literally try and get somebody's YouTube footage and split it up.
Well, we have been asked by our laboratory in India. They keep saying like, why haven't you come? Like, well, I'm like, I literally have no time to go on a plane to India. But they're like, you really need to come with journalists and we need to do a whole story. So this will be the first time that anybody takes journalists behind the scenes to actually see the way they're grown, because there's lots of codes and it's quite secretive, these lab, like they don't just let you in. So we are allowed to take some journalists with us. So we're looking to do something in January, so that, consumers can really see how they're grown. I mean, there's lots of videos, but it doesn't really tell you. Like you've got to go see it.
Yeah.
And I've got to go see it as well. So the plan is to go in January and film a documentary around it.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Really good. Yeah, I was going to say, who are you going to pick as a journalist?
Oh, I don't know.
You need to get someone good.
I think you should definitely come with us.
Oh my God,
You
100%.
You should definitely come. You should be the presenter.
I would love to do that.
Would you?
I would genuinely do that, yeah.
I think you should come then.
Yeah.
Like we've had quite a few people that have been saying, oh, could I come and present? I'd love to present. But I feel like I always like to work with people that I know and that I feel comfortable with. And I've got to know you for a while now. So
yeah.
I feel more confident doing it with you. Like I'm quite, you know what I'm like anyway.
I'm there, no problem. Yeah. I understand your frustrations a lot of the time.
You do, yeah.
I get it. And I've seen you struggle, and not that it's been a struggle because you've got an amazing business and stuff, but you went from Selfridges and you're doing so well in Selfridges, which is great. And like that launched you and you were like, wow, and it went so well. And then you put yourself under extreme pressure, a bit like a diamond. You are hard as a diamond,
yeah,
to be fair.
It. You're really good at this marketing stuff.
Thank you. So you put yourself under extreme pressure to then go and get a shop in Bond Street. This is not like, you're shoulder to shoulder with some of the biggest fine luxury, fine jewellery brands in the world, like Cartier and whoever else is on Bond Street. That's an enormous amount of pressure. And you'd only been going for just over 12 months.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we launched May 2023 and we opened the store June 2024. So that's insane. I mean, most people will take some 5 years to, they'll go from like a department store, then they'll do a store. We've just accelerated beyond. I think I am slightly crazy, but I'm also very ambitious, and I can see that the change is coming and the change is coming fast. Like I can't even breathe at night because I keep seeing what's going on in the industry. And we really wanted to be the ones to do it first because firstly, I've always worked in luxury fine jewellery, so I understand the consumer and I understand what it takes to open a store like this. And consumers were looking for a space to buy lab-grown diamonds, a place that they trust. And it really was a race to who's going to be the first to take that position in the world. And, sometimes you've got to take these risks. And I'm so glad that we did it. We are completely destroyed mentally, but we did it. And it's the clients that are happy. They're happy that they can come to a place and feel that they have a space where they can, be confident to buy.
Yeah, for sure.
And buy from professionals. And I think that's another important message, that we only have professionals work with us. People who have been in the industry for 20, 30 years. And there's others out there who, are capitalizing on lab-grown diamonds. They're like, oh, we're going to make so much money, so let's open a lab-grown store. It's not about that. Like, yes, we've accelerated fast, but our process and our service is slow. Like, we are doing things the right way. And I think that's a really important message. But yeah, the world of lab-grown diamonds in the industry is moving fast. I mean, there was a stat that said it's going to take 5 years before lab-grown diamond takes 50% of the market. It's happened in 1 year.
Yeah, 100%.
It's happened so fast. So we're trying to keep up with that momentum and remain, in that position where we are the leaders. And the only way we could do it was to open a 4th-floor store on New Bond Street. And we're the only ones on Bond Street selling lab-grown diamonds in Mayfair. So, yeah, we've had a lot of competitors come to us now, trying to partner with us and trying to say that they can help me and offer me all these great things, like put a workshop in. And I've just sort of said, no, I'm like, I need to focus on my plan. And even though it's really, really hard right now, I just got to remain, the vision needs to remain and we need to just keep going forward. So now anyway, we're launching in Bicester, aren't we, on Monday? So
I know, you walked in here, you were like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And if there's anyone I know you could do it, you will pull it off. But yeah, again, another load of extreme pressure. But what a coup, to be in Bicester Village. You've got it just before Christmas season. Really good.
I think people don't realise how big value retail in Bicester is. It's huge for brands. And it took us 2 years to get this site.
Yeah.
I think people just see the brand and go, oh, the Diamond Lab, they're opening Selfridges, they've opened at Bond Street, Bicester. No. There's a lot of hard work that goes into opening these stores, pitches and presentations and justifying your brand. And
of course,
as we
they
know,
don't just let anybody in.
They don't let anyone in.
No.
And Bicester, they only allow luxury brands. And the fact that we've not been around for 2 years, and for them, they feel like we are an established brand, it's massive. So we couldn't say no, because you can't let an opportunity like that just go when people are so desperate to open there. And they're great, the marketing, the type of customer that you're going to meet. I mean, they have incredible ultra high net worths there that I think people just assume, oh, it's just a place you go to buy discounted
No.
Fashion? No, it's not. Like I'm going to be there 7 days a week next week.
And how long are you opening for?
We are there until February the 28th.
Wow.
So it's a really good period. Christmas, Valentine's, the New Year. I mean, lots of people love to get engaged in the New Year. So it's also a great space, I think, for people to come and see us, you know, and also there's a big discount there as well, which is always good.
Really
always
good.
good.
So let's, absolutely. So with Bist, I feel like you're going to need to have a lot of stock, high turnover of stock.
High turnover stock. So at Bond Street, we sell big pieces. And when
what's a big piece in the diamond space?
Like 20 carat studs, so 10 carats each, which is, I mean, that's
really
big. Yeah, really
that's
big. Big, really big.
What are you wearing now?
What am I wearing? I'm wearing 6 carat each ashes. So these are from our Simple the Kiss collection.
10. Wow.
A 10 is like a Coca-Cola cube. It's huge. So that's our sort of average sale, which is insane because actually that shouldn't be our average sale. It should be your 1 carats and you're stacking bracelets. But for some reason, it's not just because we're in Bond Street. I think it really is because of the community, like my team and I have, that people come in to buy for fun. So those clients that were buying at Graf or, you know, Tiffany's, they now come to us and go, wow, I've always wanted a pair of 20 carats. I can buy them for 30 grand.
Exactly.
And they enjoy that. And they're like, also, I'm ticking a box, you know, it's green. I'm doing something better for the planet. So there's a lot of boxes that tick, and clients, you know, love the idea of buying for fun. So Bista really is the move to get that customer that, you know, wants to buy those stacking pieces, wants to buy the gifting pieces, the everyday pieces, that we don't really have those customers walk into New Bond Street, and we want them to walk in because we want to service them, and that we need them to find us. And so Bista allows us to engage with those clients.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can see so much flying out of Bista. I really can.
So that's what I'm nervous about, that, because I'm like, stock, you know, as a new brand.
You just can't gauge.
You can't gauge. So, you know, you've got people advising you saying, oh, you know, you're probably going to sell really big sets. And you've got people saying, oh, no, you're just going to sell like stacking bracelets. You're like, well, actually, I have no idea, because I had a business model which is completely the opposite now in 6 months. So
really? Yeah. So
it was more like access to diamonds. And, you know, we just all assumed that it would be that customer that probably aspired to buy a 5 carat from one of the heritage brands that would come to us. But actually, it's the customers that have been buying from those heritage fine jewellery brands that are coming to us. It's not actually the everyday consumer. So it's going to be really interesting to see which way it goes. It's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm going to add to my stack for sure. I've got a little bracelet there.
Yeah, we need to get you stacked up. I mean, I don't want to have one today. I don't really wear that much anymore.
No?
It's a bit weird. Like, you see the stones all the time and you're like, nah, it's okay.
It's just sometimes it can be difficult because I'm in the gym and stuff like that, and I virtually never never take anything off. I've got another diamond necklace on here, but it's but I do want to add to my collection. And then Danny was like, we should just get married. I'm like, I know, but
you know the ring you want.
I need an engagement ring. And he's like, well, your expectations of a ring are ridiculous. And I was like, that's not my expectations. I think you've been engaged before and it's got to be better than that one. Yeah. That was what I said to him.
Well, he knows where to come now.
I know, I see. So, it's on him. I said, I honestly don't want a wedding. I don't want a wedding.
I don't want a wedding.
I was like, I'll be happy to go to Gretna Green if you want. Genuinely, because I can't be arsed with the hassle of planning a wedding. When you run a business, can you be bothered to do all that? No.
You can't. Like, I just don't even go out anymore.
Same.
It's so weird. Like, I used to be someone who used to go out and network. Like, I was just that girl, right?
Yeah.
And that's why my previous business was really successful. And now you just don't get time. I mean, all I do is I try to finish work at 8, swim at 9, and then back to work at 10 p.m. at night. It's about 3 in the morning.
I honestly was thinking when you were talking then, and I was like, oh, she's so ambitious. You just like, you could be in the room, like not only with e-com brands and talking about your success story, but I'm telling you, haven't got the time to do it.
I haven't got the time, which is really sad. So we've just taken a new PR company on and they're like, so, you know, we need to get you here.
Ladies
we need
lunches,
to do this. And I'm like,
networking.
yeah, I actually don't have time. So I'm going tomorrow. My sister said, Jamie, whatever you do not miss this lunch tomorrow. Like, you have to go to this lunch. Oh, okay, I'll go. I'm going to go for 1 hour. She's like, no, you need to go for the full 2 hours. Like, it's really important. Like, you've been positioned there for a reason. But you sort of have to make a really quick decision in business. Like, okay, do I go to this, or do I work my strategy for the next 2 weeks? because if I do this, I'll miss out on 2 hours of like directing my team. It's just because things just move so quickly. No one actually understands what I'm saying half the time, because I walk in, I'll go, right, okay, we need this, this, and this. And they're like, what have you said? I was like, right, I've got no time. I've literally got no time.
I know.
And nobody believes me.
And the thing is, you can come off quite rude sometimes. I get like, this gets laid at my door all the time. I'm like, I'm really, I miss emails. I miss getting back to people who I really like, customers who I really like my favourite customers. I'm like, I'm really sorry I still haven't rang you back on that. I feel awful.
You do.
But I'm taking on too much. Yesterday, I left my frigging suitcase on the train, and then because I was worried about a meeting, I was like going through my notes and really anxious about it, and I was stressing. So I've walked off the train completely forgetting I've got luggage. I'm getting to my Uber, and I was like, where's my fucking bag? Oh my God. And I couldn't even remember the walk off the train. So I couldn't even remember if I'd had it.
I think something like that happened to me the other day.
The fuck?
No, it did. It did. So I get you, because your brain is just like, it's running on nothing now. So autopilot is, I don't even know what autopilot is anymore. Finished work. Well, I didn't finish work. I was like on the way home and I was starving. So I also forget to eat now. So I saw Flat Iron. I said, okay, I'm going to go have a steak. I went in and they're like, we're fully booked right now. I said, come back in 20 minutes. I said, okay, I'll come back. I'm just going to go home and I'll come back in 20 minutes. So I get into the flat, and within 3 minutes of getting into the flat, I'd actually forgotten what I'd done. Went to the flat, put my pajamas on, started cleaning the bathroom, because cleaning's kind of like therapeutic. And then I was like, I'm starving, I'm really hungry, just go to bed and do it. And then I was like, no, you have a booking. So I ran out the house, practically put some jeans on, left my pajama top on. And I was like, I forgot that I had, that I just booked something 20 minutes ago. So it's a real worry. So I'm having to like constantly double check. I have a backpack. Yeah. And I keep the same backpack now because I'm really, really worried about where my brain's at. It's like, you think you're like on it, but actually you're not.
Apologies for interrupting this podcast, but I need to ask a favour. If you're enjoying this podcast so far, then please hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be straight up and honest that I want to see this podcast grow and flourish into something that I'm really proud of. And the only way that I can do that is with your help. So if you've ever learned anything useful from these conversations, then please return the favour by liking, rating, subscribing, and maybe even sharing it with your friends. Thanks very much. Let's get back to the episode. No, I get it. And the thing is, I've got a little girl as well. So then I have to go into mum mode. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, and I'm doing that shit job at that and a shit job here. And I'm forgetting everything. And my dad's like, you need to slow down a bit. And I'm like, that's the point where I had a therapy session the other day because I was so stressed. And she was like, you were at burnout. You're dead behind the eyes. I was like, I know. And
I didn't know what burnout was, but I feel like it's coming.
Like she said, your emotion, nothing's fulfilling you. Nothing's making you happy. Because you're just going you're rushing from place to place to place to place.
You're not getting that moment, are you?
No. You
to enjoy any of the moments.
Breathe. No.
You literally can't breathe. You're like...
You must have been like, yes, Vista, fuck, how are we going to feel it?
Yeah, so you just don't get any time to celebrate those milestones. Like I've never been someone that celebrates anything, but actually someone did say to me once, you do need to take time to celebrate, because if you don't, you are going to miss out on all and you're going to forget actually like why you did this. And I think that's why it's important for us to stop, even though we know we don't have time to stop, to go, hang on a second, I've just achieved this and this. I know I've got no time to do anything, but there's all this great stuff happening.
But you say that, right? As soon as you take your foot off the pedal, what happens? All your competitors go, oh, hi. Oh, they've taken a foot off the pedal. See you later. Now we're in number one spot.
They are waiting.
Of course.
So...
You can't. You're on the treadmill, and until you exit, you're on that treadmill.
You're on it, and you have to be aware of what's going on, and you can only be aware if you're 100% on it.
It's very, very difficult, especially. I'm feeling it very much so at the moment. So to the point where I'm like sat there with a therapist going, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I had one of my clients. She's a psychotherapist actually. She does. I don't know what type of therapy it is, but it's more like it's the therapy where depression doesn't exist. So it's like a spiritual type of therapy. So she stopped me and said, I need to speak to you. I know you're not in a good place. And I said, I've got 10 minutes. And she said, look, you've got 6 versions of you inside you. You need to tap into those versions. You've got the young girl, you've got, the businesswoman, the sister, the mum, all of these. And you need to swap that Jamie inside you when you need to do certain things and work out, say it to yourself. And I said, right, okay. When things are down, she's like, you need to switch to that person or switch to that version. And actually, it really, really helps me a lot, because sometimes you think you're losing your mind, and actually you're not losing your mind. You just need to jump between sort of characters. And she also said to me, when you have a business, she's like, it's a baby, right? And babies need a lot of attention, and then it's toddler, and then it's a teenager, and then you're good, but you're not good, right? Because then you enter the world of adulthood, and then you're still worrying about your baby. So she said, look, you're just going to have to see it in a way where you've got all these stages, and it's never going to be easy.
Yeah.
So forget that idea that it's ever going to calm down, because it's never going to calm down. You just got to find a way of managing how you deal with it. And then, you have people that say you need a good people around you, but you have your core people around you. And then you try to get other people to help you, but they actually don't help you at all. So you end up doing their work for you. So then you have all these people around you that you're paying, and actually half the time they're not really supporting you. It's just...
This is the thing. Everyone said to me, I think you need to bring in a stronger team. And I was like, yeah, that's great. But it's like sitting down to find the talent.
Yeah, sitting down to find talent, and then also sharing everything, and they need to understand you.
Yeah.
And you know me.
Yeah.
Like, I am disorganized chaos, but in a organized way. But only my sister and Cameron really, really know what goes on behind the scenes. And there's one other person, and Carolina knows, she was with me, from the beginning. So she kind of gets it. She's like, okay, this is Jamie's, we know she's good, but she's in her own little world. But other people just can't jump on that. And so they would never understand how things work, or how fast you need things doing, or the importance of why you're asking someone to do it. It's always like, why? It's like, don't ask me why, please just do it.
I think the speed of which people do it don't understand.
They don't.
But I've got a really good, I've got a graphic designer who I rang at 9 o'clock the other night, and she had it back to me by 11 o'clock at night.
This is people that you need around you. So when you have people like that around you, you've got to keep them.
Yeah.
Because they're amazing.
Because then you can go to really expensive teams, and they're like, yeah, we can get it back in a couple of weeks. And that's a rush for them. I'm like, oh, what's gone on in 2 weeks is like, we're beyond this.
Yes. I have to tell people now, before I take anyone on, this is a startup. It's messy. Things change overnight. And they change for the business, right? So be ready to be adaptable.
Be agile.
And nimble, because there's no job for you here if you think this is just, let's come in and stand around.
9 to 5. Yeah.
No way.
No chance. Yeah. Put the pedal on.
No one really knows what startup means. I think they feel like it's cool. It's like a cool word, right? It's like
we're in the trenches, I say.
Yeah, are you ready to
Are you ready to be in the trenches?
Yeah.
And if you're not, then I would suggest, because it's not, we don't have lunch hours, we don't have this, we don't have that. If we have to work...
Actually, if someone says to me, I need to take my lunch, I'm like, oh, lucky you, go have your lunch. But I'm like...
oh, you want maternity leave? Yeah. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't.
Oh, I need to leave at 6 o'clock. Okay, sure. No worries. But I get it. Some people
it's different
need that.
for a founder or the boss, you know, whatever we are. Do you know what I mean? The one in charge, because, hopefully, for me, I just feel like I'm underpaid as well, completely.
By the way, everyone gets paid more than me,
Same.
Really, combined.
Yeah.
So we're like doing everything. You're just like, okay, I actually don't get to live. Like, I don't really, And
I'm just living for the day when I crystallize it at the end, maybe.
Well, that's what everyone says. They're like, but that's because you're going to sell the company in a couple of years. You're like, yeah, but I don't think it's easy as that. You know, you still do need to have.
You say that, but then in that time, let's say you build the business and you've been doing it 5 years, but in that 5 years, right, you've had loads of competitors that come on the market with wow, they're doing really well. Look at they've proven the model. We've got way more cash to invest in them.
Yeah.
We've got deeper pockets. See you later.
So this is what's happened to me, okay? Because I'm a very open person, and I'm very trusting. I'm a really trusting person. So we had a few people that are like, okay, can we give you some stock? Like, obviously you've got a great store. We've got the stock. I'm like, sure. So I went down to see this person, and they showed me their showroom and this incredible workshop. And I was having a crazy day, right? Like, I had a meeting with Vista, and then I was on the Zoom call, and then a meeting. It was like, I had 10-minute blocks between everything. So I got to this guy, and I was flustered, and he could see through me. He's like, I can see she's weak right now. And he says, well, I was thinking of actually us partnering. I was like, what? I was like, okay, well, talk to me. I'm in the middle of a raise, and it might be good for me. And he says, I want to know your financials. So I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then he said, well, you're a threat to me right now because you're the only one that's got this store on Bond Street and you've got the biggest store and I want to open a lab-grown store. So I didn't really get the message when he said that to me in the moment. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He said, should we go down to your store and have a good look at it together? I was like, yeah, sure, let's walk down. So we walked down to the store. He comes into the store. He's like, wow, it's a really big space. And the second floor where we had the discussion, I can see a workshop here. I can see this. Trust me, if you let me be your partner, I'm going to take your business from where it is now to like $500,000 a month.
Did he already have a diamond company?
He had a mine diamond company before, and he's just transitioned to lab because everyone's transitioning because they know everybody wants lab now. So we were up in my office and he says to me, how do you feel about me becoming your partner? I mean, do you trust me? I said, well, I don't trust anybody. I said, really? So I don't really know you. Well, I can give you X, Y, and Z now. I wanted to help you. I was like, well, help me. You don't know me, so I don't think you'd want to help me. Anyway, he said, send me your deck and send me your P&L. Next day, he's chasing me all day for this. And I said, look, I've been really busy. I'm with clients. I can't just send this to you. Anyway, I sent him my P&L, basically everything on the company. And he responded, I don't want this and I don't want your projections. I want your deck. And I was like, well, I'm not sending you my deck, am I? Because that's got all of my, that's got my entire plan for the next 5 years, actually. So I didn't send it. And he went really quiet. And a week later, I get someone coming to the store who said that we can buy all these bracelets on your website for £000. So we looked at the website and there's nothing available for £000. They'd hacked into our archives and tried to buy 4 bracelets. And so we reported it as fraud from 4 different fake names. And I was like, okay, so this is what's going on. So people are now coming to try and say to me, I don't know what they're trying to say, but there's something going on. And this is why you can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
Because you've got other people that are seeing what you've got and they're saying, okay, I've got the money. He's got big backers, So you could take my deck, you could make it better. You could open in 6 months and do everything that I want to do. But I'm like, but can you though? Because I feel like we have a very unique, we do have our USP. But I think if someone's got a shitload of money,
they can just wipe you out.
50K a month on marketing, you can take that entire consumer base in the UK and drive it to you. You can, because it's a niche right now. It's a real niche. And so this is what keeps you up all night. You're like, I've gone through all the struggles for everybody else, by the way, and gave everyone the confidence that lab-grown diamonds are here. There's a store on Bond Street. And yet I'm the one that's like trying to still prove myself.
But the problem is they can't replace you, right? So they're not you. And if I was going to be doubling down on PR right now, it would be on you. You need to be the Jamie, like almost make yourself into a celebrity.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Stroke influencer, and you're influencing your own brand back.
No, you told me that 6 months ago. You were like, open up your Instagram, change it. And I didn't? Because I opened it for about a week and then I had random people follow me, but people that were just sort of poking around. And I was like, I really believe in the evil eye and like bad energy. And I was like, I don't really want anyone like.
But you're in control of what you let them see. Yeah, you're in control of that. And I think you're going to build a legion of women who want to celebrate their special occasions with you with a piece of jewellery. Or I know some girls who would like save up for a year to go, oh my God, I'm going to go to London, I'm going to have a nice day out, and I'm going to get that bracelet for myself.
Well, that's it.
And they will follow you every single day and go, so excited, I've saved up 700 quid now and I'm halfway to my point, or whatever it is, right? I've got a girl in my head who would definitely be like this. I'm telling you now, that times a couple of thousand, they'll never take that away from you, right? So you can be Mr. I'll shaft you for your diamonds, but you've built this community around you of women, and you can do loads of events in that store and you can do loads of community-based stuff. They will never be able to take your personality and your brand away from you. And I believe that brand is the most valuable thing you can ever build. Yeah. Because, you're right, everyone can have a lab-grown diamond. So what's important about the diamond lab? Yeah. Okay, build that brand that everybody goes, lab-grown diamond, the diamond lab.
Yeah.
Like immediately. The value is in brand. And you are the brand right now.
And association, right? I think that's important, association with the brand. And what does that mean?
Yeah.
We have super cool parties, and we're always doing things like that. We're doing it for our clients. And also, a networking space for them.
Yeah.
So, other women meet each other and they are going off and doing their things. And that's what makes me really happy. Like when I see people come to our events and they are exchanging business cards and going off to do business, I'm like, that's cool. Like I've done something great, So we want to do more of that.
It's a great route to market as well. I can think
and collaborations.
Of
we're collaborating with the skin brand.
Yeah.
Alice Henshaw, she came in yesterday, loves the space. And the good thing is that I will just go, yes, let's do it. Like I'm always about experimenting. And the space is there. So we're having a collaboration with a brand called Yate. She's a female founder. She really couldn't find a space. And I said, look, take our space. Do what you want to do there. So yeah, we've got some work to do, but there's a strong foundation to make it work, I think. And to continue doing what we're doing, but just to accelerate it. And we're lucky, like all the influencers that we met in Selfridges, all the people we've met from all our openings that have been invited, they've become our friends.
Of course.
They really plug us, and we don't pay anybody anything.
Yeah.
Like we just really, like when you connect with someone, I think you just become friends and you want to help each other. And we're really, really lucky. Like we had a photo shoot last week and there's no way we could have paid for this makeup artist. I mean, she's like $3,500 for one session, and she looks after Rihanna.
I can't imagine what they're doing.
And we were gifted that, and we were gifted the hairstylist. And it's things like that. You're like, okay, like I feel good. Like we must be doing something right for people to want to help us.
Yeah.
But you do get to the point where you're like, I'm tired.
Yeah, of course. And unfortunately, you're on the treadmill and you're only a couple of miles into the marathon. Genuine, I think this myself, by the way. I go through this torture all day long and I think I just want to be sat at home making sourdough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And growing vegetables. And I feel like crying.
See that. I see people doing things like that. I see their Instagram friends. Oh, you grow some tomatoes. I used to do that. I actually used to have that life where I used to just go pick flowers and cook nice food.
Go in the gym and having a matcha latte. I loved
and there was no time. It was like, and now it's
now we're like girl bossing a bit too hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even have time to have a relationship. I feel like I'd get dumped like immediately.
Yeah, I know.
So we're just like, you're crazy. Like we can't be with you.
I know. To be fair, my partner gets it because he is also in the same space, and he's got like 11 businesses.
So that's good. I think if you find someone that's similar to you and who understands what it means, then you're great. But it's very hard to find that person, I think, that understands that you're just doing your thing.
Imagine trying to have a hangover. Like people are like, oh, God, I want to come to this. I'm like, do you think I've got time for a hangover?
To wake up and waste like a day with a hangover.
I know. No, when you've got everybody snapping it, like vipers on me right now. No.
Right, that's it, isn't it? It's vipers.
Yeah.
It really is. Like even if I am out, I think one of my investors, he said, Jamie, you're never really in the moment, are you? I went, well, no, I'm not, because I'm thinking, okay, I've got this to do. When I get home tonight, I've got to make sure I've got this done. So I can't go out and just have a mental night out because I will then suffer.
Yeah. Same. And then, everybody said I need to start building the team out, taking off the pressure a little bit more. Because if you're working in the business, you're not working on the business. So let me ask this, is it a real business if you got knocked over by a bus tomorrow, God forbid, would the business still run? The answer is no.
No.
And if the answer was yes, would it still grow? No. So then it's not a real business. So that, if
you've got to create that.
If you can function it without you, then it's a genuinely real business.
We all want to get to that point, don't we?
So processes, team,
and that's what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
Like the retail space is obviously, it's my, it's the brand, right? Those are the people that you see when you walk into the store. The way the store looks, all of that kind of stuff. And I still feel we've got a long way to go. I think that, training and mentoring and being with your team, it's really, really important. But how long does that take, for it to become autopilot for them to go, okay, Jamie doesn't need to come in every day.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to spot that teacup, or she doesn't need to spot that fingerprint because you've got it. And until everyone's got it, there is a problem, right? Because your brand needs to function without you.
Maybe at that stage, if you want them to think like you, like the owner, give them a piece of equity.
A few people do have that.
That.
And
because then they would act like it's theirs.
And the salaries that I give my team are very, very generous. I mean, I want to offer staff, something that they'll never get at those other brands. So we start later. The store opens at 12. My staff start at 10, so they're not in that rush hour to get to work. So I always like to have that nice balance for them, but also in return, you expect something back as well, right?
Of course,
there's
definitely.
But yeah, I've kept an option pool aside because I'm always looking at the person that
you want to invest in the team.
Yeah,
if they're with you,
I'm like, okay, who am I going to next give shares to? Because
absolutely. And if they are genuinely in the trenches with you when you need them, then they deserve it.
They deserve it 100%. I mean, there's one girl in particular. She's, yesterday I was really about to break down. Like we are at a point where I'm like, okay, hold on. And she was like, look, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it right now. And she said, and she works every single day and she does have shares. And you do need those people that are going to go, you know what, it's 3:00 in the morning. Jamie needs me to work on the stock. I need to work on it. And we're going to work on it till 6:00 in the morning if that's what it takes. And I've got that person. So it's great, but I need more of them.
Yeah. They're difficult, rare. They're like as rare as a diamond.
And there's a lot of people, by the way, they come in and they're like, I can give you this. I love this one. I can be your right hand.
Yeah.
Do you know what the right hand means?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what that means, right? It means also being on the shop floor. It also means cleaning the floor. It also means this and this.
Yeah.
Because I do those things, right?
Yeah.
And it was a great interview. And he said, well, no, I can't do that. And I said, right, but you're willing for me, the CEO, to do that, but you wouldn't do what I do.
I would start them off on doing
that. How can you be my right hand? Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. So, yeah, I mean, it's
they
a really
are
small
out there.
group. There are.
Yeah.
They are out there and we will find them all. But we just, we've got to keep looking. I was also told by somebody recently, met James Khan, Dragonstone guy.
Yeah.
Didn't know who he was, came into the shop. The shop was actually closed. I was outside, looked like a 12-year-old and had a ponytail and had a coffee. I said, do you want to come? Well, why don't you come in and have a look and I'll talk to you about lab-grown diamonds. And I said, I know you. I'm sure I know you. He's like, no, you don't. I went, okay. I said, pretty sure I know you. Then he goes, oh, Dragonstone. I said, oh, right, okay. Anyway, he's become great. Like the last 3 weeks, I see him probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Wow.
Bought loads of jewellery from us and really invest in the brand. Right, he's so excited. He'll, be like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here in the store? And he was saying, and he said, look, what's the problem right now in your business? I said, staff. I said, I need to hire incredible staff for Bicester. I need great staff for my store. And we're coming into Christmas. He's like, how are you recruiting? I said, well, usual recruitment agencies, word of mouth, like people I know. He's like, you need to have a bank of people. You need to be out mystery shopping, good people all the time and keeping in touch with them because you never know when your next door's about to open and you're going to have to pull those people in. You can't spend time talking to recruitment agencies because you're not going to find the best staff there. You need to start looking now and always have your reserve of good people ready to join. I was like, right, okay.
There is one I'm thinking of. She works in Selfridges and it's only because I've been in the store so much and she literally, even when I was like 27, I remembered her and then and she's just got such a personality. She works on the perfume counter. She works on Bond number 9 and she goes, oh, darling. She doesn't know who I am, right? But she pulls me in every time, compliments, flattery, to the point where I'm like, fuck, I've just bought a £300 bottle.
That's what you need because you just...
I always have remembered her, always. And I always think, fucking hell, wow, I could utilise her in something in some stage. But that was when I was like 27, I remembered her. And she still works there.
That's great.
She would be amazing for you. I'll take a picture of her next time. I'll say, go and get this lady.
I'll go mystery shop and see what she does to me. How much money she makes me spend.
She's
I don't know.
incredible. She's incredible. And I swear, I'm like, I've remembered her for 10 years plus, this woman. So she definitely has an effect. But he's right. That is such a good way. And I know it's probably unethical to pinch staff or whatever, but yeah.
Not being looked after. Yeah. Also, I was like, I don't want to take people from the fine jewellery brands. I want to take people from hospitality or like beauty, like hairdressers.
Yeah.
Because they can connect to people. They have to talk to people all day long and they'll find a way to have conversation. And they remember those conversations, right? Because you see your client all the time. So I've taken a couple of people from those backgrounds and they've been amazing. Because it's all about relationships.
Of course it is, yeah.
About
really hospitality.
About it's actually not about the product.
It's actually not about the product.
Half the time I'm selling, I'm not actually talking about the diamond. It's like talking about the wine or whatever we're talking about, but it's never about the product.
Yeah. No, exactly. So what's the process? Say somebody wants to come in and get an engagement ring. What's the process? Do they pick the stone and then you can design the band?
Yeah,
Or?
so we have a lot of sets now, like collections. But I think people really like to have their personal touch. So we have a lot of loose stones. And what happens is somebody will see the design and then we'll show them the loose stone and we'll say, okay, well, why don't you have it like this or put this extra little touch on there? And so we personalize it. So you choose your loose stone, personalize it, we get a design to you within sort of 24 hours. And then it takes about a week to 2 weeks to have it made. So it's a really, really simple process with us. And it's quick because I feel like a lot of people don't have time to wait 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we have an advantage over a lot of brands because we make things happen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, we could ask them to wait 4 weeks, but I'm going to put pressure on my workshop. And I know you can do it in a week because I know a single stone ring, simple band can be made in a few days. So, that really helps us and helps the client make the decision between which brand they end up going for. But yeah, it's the loose stones. People love picking the loose stones. They love seeing it. They love being part of the design process. And it's really personal.
What's the most popular cut?
Right now it's the oval. The oval and the offset pair. Those two are trending like insane. But I feel like the oval, it's timeless. Like everyone's going for an oval ring, but it is timeless. The one that I would say that's not as successful, which it used to be, is a round. I don't find anyone going for round stones anymore. They are really...
Seems like your grandma's generation around.
It's an oval and they're putting a spin on it. They're having it horizontal. The world of fine jewelry right now is really cool. Like people are having fun. And I never saw that 10 years ago or even 5 years ago.
I want a 5 carat like emerald cut, but I want the claws on the corners of the ring. I've seen it actually.
Have you? Yeah. The double claws?
Double claws.
Double claws, yeah.
Double claws on each corner. And yeah, like
that's a statement ring. It is.
It is.
It is actually. It's like, I'm a boss.
And Danny
double
was
claws
like,
are the one.
You're fucking delusional.
You're like, no, I'm not. That's something I want. I should just give you a ring to wear. You should have a ring to wear.
I know I should.
I've got to get you a ring to wear.
I virtually don't have anything, but yeah. So I think it's an exciting space. I'm really into it. I like the ethical parts of it. I like the fact that like it's more accessible, so women can buy their own jewelry now. Do you find a lot of that? Yeah.
So when we were in Selfridges, it was quite interesting. I had to do a talk to like all of the like young people there. And all of the girls, like 18, 19-year-olds came over and they were like, oh my God, it's so cool to hear you speak. Like you used to work here when you were young and now you have your own brand. And I mentioned something to them. I said, look, when I was 18 years old, I used to see all these beautiful fine jewelry brands. I worked for those fine jewelry brands. And I said, there was nothing I could afford in dual fine jewelry ever. I mean, a pair of studs back then, 1 carat each, were what, maybe £8,000, 10,000, then I was 16. But you can buy your dream studs now from us for like £1,800. And they're diamonds. And so, if you're saving up for 6 months, you can buy them. You don't need to save up 10 years. Like you can actually buy a beautiful piece of jewelry and feel great and know you're going to have that for a lifetime. And I think for a lot of women, they haven't had that option. They've been buying demi-fine jewellery and they've been spending a lot of money on demi-fine jewellery. Whereas now you can come to a brand like ours and buy something which is there for life, and you can pass down on to your children.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important that anybody now can buy a beautiful piece of jewellery, which is a decent size.
Yeah. I still see a bit of pushback in some of my friends. They're like, no, would never have one of them. And I'm a bit like...
I've convinced so many people.
Yeah,
without convincing them,
Yeah.
It's like... there was somebody that came to us in Selfridges. He is a big investor in the Diamond Foundry. And he said, my girlfriend, I've been trying to get her to buy lab grown for the last 5 years. She will not. Anyway, so we've become really good friends now. And I just sat down with her. I was like, look, well, here they are. Came looking physically down to look at the stone. And she goes, I don't know. She went off and then she came back and she said, I was going to buy myself a Louis Vuitton handbag today. But she said, I really liked you and I loved the way you explained it. And I'm going to buy these studs. And he was like, I've not even been able to convince her and you've done it in an hour.
Yeah.
And that's it. She was sold on lab grown. I also have, we've had a lot of clients who have gone through divorces and they've never bought jewelry for themselves. And they've said, this is the first piece of jewelry that I've designed and made for myself. And they feel really special, and it's a really special moment for those women as well. So it is a brand that actually the majority of our clients are women celebrating their, success, whatever it may be, whether they've had a baby and they celebrate, treating themselves to something. And that's what's really cool, that women can now buy their own jewellery.
Yeah, buy their own little push present. It is, exactly. And I think you need to be the lady that they come and buy from. That's the way you need to PR yourself, market yourself, because you're such a good face of the brand. You're absolutely commercially viable because you're gorgeous. And let's fucking talk straight. If I was marketing you, I'd be like, yeah, you could walk into you could do a lovely female entrepreneurs piece in any of the Glossies, Tatler, Vogue, anything like that. Honestly, and I think have you ever thought about going UAE way?
Yes, so that's our next plan, right? So we are obviously trying to open a store there, as well as fundraising millions right now. Yeah. So the plan is to go to the UAE. I mean, a majority of our clients are females from the Middle East, Kuwait, Saudi, Dubai, big client base there, and they are all ready for lab grown. I mean, they know more than some. I mean, they come into the store and they're like, they don't need any education.
Yeah.
And it's also a space where, everybody's moving over there now. I mean, especially with this new tax thing that's going on. I mean, literally, I think people are packing their bags as we speak. Yeah. So all the wealth is there. The world's most, I think it's the number one shopping mall right in the world right now, the Dubai Mall. So that's the plan, to go there. But what I want to do there is I want to start doing little events, little trunk shows out there, starting to build our community of influencers, and starting to get to understand the market there better. I think it'll be a huge success, but I want to do this one. I want to do it a little bit differently, just, spend some time in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, maybe all of those countries out there. But yeah, that's the next move.
Yeah, I can see that. So, yeah.
We probably would have done Dubai first, but I feel for us, obviously my sister and I were from the UK, and it made sense for us to open, and it made sense to open a flagship store in London.
And once you've got that really transitions well over there anyway.
And you don't really, I think once you've got a store the size we've got, you don't need to go off and have stores that size. You actually need just a smaller store, because London, everybody's in London all the time, right? Yeah. It's a stop off for everybody. So they've got that space where they want to experience the whole experience. You've got Bond Street, and then we'll just take snippets of that experience around the world. So I think UAE next, then New York. But we've had some people say do New York first and then UAE. But I think we'll next do UAE next.
It's spenny though, New York. I don't know, actually. That's probably.
So I think, look, New York's a bit like London, isn't it? It's like you have a space in London, in New York, and it's like, okay, we have it's to say you've got a space in New York, but the market there, have been all over lab grown for the last 20 years. It's huge,
really?
And a bit like London, everyone said there's no brand like yours selling lab grown diamonds from a luxury perspective, and out in New York, people are getting engaged all the time and big. They're gifting big diamonds, and the guys out there are quite smart. In terms of what they spend, and they would understand lab grown and transition easily to a store like yours. But I think UAE next.
Yeah.
And then we'll move to New York, and then we're going to focus on Asia. So maybe Singapore, India, and just that side of the world, because it's...
You know what you need? Just a bit more ambition. I'm thinking,
let's see if I get through... If I can make it through Vista. If I can make it through to December the 25th, I think I'll survive. If I don't, then it'll be another story. But
I'm excited. I'm actually going to come to Vista to see the store.
Well, we can send you a car. So if you have any friends or anybody wants to come, we can send you a chauffeur, and they pick you up, and they look after you. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's really good. Yeah, lovely service. Oh, amazing. Well, honestly, I really appreciate you giving me an hour of your time.
I feel like this has been a therapy session. I needed to see you. I was so stressed when I walked in here. I was like,
no. Yeah,
I feel a lot calmer now.
I can feel it. As I feel it in myself a lot, and everybody says it to me, you need to calm down. And I'm like, I know, but we can't. Not right now.
No.
So, yeah. But no, I'm here anytime you want to chew the fat or just scream down the phone or whatever, and if I can ever offer any advice, then I will try to. But yeah, I think you're doing an incredible job. Like what you've done in such a small space of time is just amazing. I tell everyone about you.
Oh.
And I think it's going to be such a huge success. I mean, you already are, but honestly, I think you're just going to get up a level in Bicester. You really will.
Okay. Keep praying for me, yeah?
I'm gonna. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really nice to talk about the brand again, because I haven't done this in a while. So it was good to remind myself where we are.
Yeah, good. And celebrate those wins.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.